Hi, this is Brad with Filter Water Direct. In this video, I'm going to explain how to disassemble the Gen 4, actually the Gen 3 and Gen 4 poly salt-free water softener components, and talk about service and then reassembly. We introduced a new filter a while back for this series of poly softeners, and it includes the new iron and bacteria filter. And so a lot of our customers are using this filter now, so I would just want to take a couple of minutes and explain how it fits and what it does. So I'm going to assume that you've already taken the bottom off of your poly filter, and I've set mine up in a vise here, and it's got all the interior components installed in it. So once this is done, first thing, just begin to disassemble the components. This is the new iron and bacterial cartridge, which is not cleanable, by the way. And then the rest of the components will come out. Here's your 25 micron stainless screen that you'll want to clean from the inside. Notice there's only an O-ring on one end, not the other end. The O-ring on this end will go down into the housing and fit snugly. You don't need an O-ring on this end if you're going to use the new filter, because with the O-ring, it'll keep the stainless screen from fitting up inside of the iron cartridge. You've got your polyphosphate cartridge, which is refillable. Some like to buy the entire cartridge. They're available on our website. Some would prefer to clean their cartridge and refill it. Either way is fine. And then you've got your hard water bullet, which is the catalytic core. Okay, one piece, 3/8, cleanable, lasts forever. You've got your neoprene gasket that fits in. And then there's a disc in the bottom of the housing that you'll want to check and make sure it's not damaged. It's got the little the screen in it. It's one piece. Okay, so after that, you're going to want to take and clean this with water real good. Brush it out and clean it up. Once it's clean, you'll just assemble it exactly how you took it apart. And the way I do that is, and by the way, I'll go through how to service this component in this video later on. Okay, I want to explain the easiest way to take it apart for you. But between now and then, if you decide that you're ready to put yours back together, I always, of course, start with the screen. Make sure it's clean. It fits in just like this, with the flat bottom down. Okay, you've got to have it, otherwise the catalytic core will fall out the bottom. Next component, after you've cleaned your screen from the inside out using a toothbrush, O-ring down. I like to use a little Vaseline or some sort of lubricant on that. Push it in and give it a twist. Make sure it's seated nice and securely in the bottom of your housing. After that, you're going to want to take your serviced or your new cartridge, drop it in. The catalytic core goes in the center, and then take a new filter and just slide it on top and just seat it. And that's all there is to that. It's very simple, very straightforward. Every 6 to 10 months is typically the service cycle on these filters, depending on how much junk you have in your water. The more iron you have in your water, you might need the outer iron filter, every 5 or 6 months. But typically, most of our customers get on average of 8 to 10 months between service cycles. So in the next segment on this video, we'll go through maintaining the polyphosphate cartridge. Hey, this is Brad, filterwaterdirect.com. I'm going to take a few minutes and go through servicing the polyphosphate cartridge out of the PSC1 salt-free water softeners. And this can be a challenge if you don't know how to do it. And its cartridge is made to refill, but it's a tight cartridge. And one thing I will tell you is, if you've got more than a half of a cartridge of polyphosphate, it's going to be a challenge to take it apart, because it makes it stick together. But nevertheless, it does come apart, and I'll show you the method that I use to take mine apart. So we know we have polyphosphate inside there because we can hear it shake. Okay, so you've got the two ends. This is the unvented end. This is the vented end. It's got the 4 slots in the top of it. So from the solid end, you've got a seam. I'll get the camera real close. There's a seam right here at the base, and this would be the unvented end. You want to find this seam, okay? What I like to do, I like to take a utility knife and find that seam and begin to open it up just a little bit, and you can see it begin to open. Okay, and work it around. Make sure that it's all, you're not actually cutting it, you're just getting it ready to open up. You're cleaning it is what you're doing. Okay, so run your knife around that seam, and then I use 2 small screwdrivers, just small flathead screwdrivers. Sometimes it takes 2, sometimes you can do it with 1. And you can see I've serviced this before. So this is actually the cartridge out of my own personal filter. So I started in there. You see it open up like that right there. And take your time with it, okay? Just pry on it. They do break, but they're pretty durable. And you can see this is going to come apart now, okay? There you go. And when you hear that pop, it's going to come apart. And you're going to have material that's going to fall out of it, okay? Here's your polyphosphate. And here's the disc, which you can take off, okay? And this is the interior tube. So this is reusable many, many times, and the first time you take it apart, from then on it will get easier to take apart. Refilling, you're just going to want to put this back in, this one end. There's a groove in here that this disc has to snap into. If you get it wrong, it won't snap in the correct end. So you'll hear it pop, okay, like so. Okay, then after you add your polyphosphate, which will be in the outside, not the inside, but the outside, your disc, and by the way, don't overfill this cartridge. This cartridge, I never put more than 2/3 full in mine, okay, because I service mine every 4 or 5 months anyway, just to see how it's doing. And there's no sense in wasting the polyphosphate. And while we're talking about that, I have learned and determined on my own product that, you know, polyphosphate, you can, this is probably 4 months old here. And you can begin to see some of the whiter beads. That's breaking down, and it's going to dissolve and maybe not do its job. So I recommend just discarding any polyphosphate in it and adding new polyphosphate. We've got the kits on the website for $29.99. You can also buy it on Amazon or a lot of places by bulk. But I recommend just putting fresh, clean polyphosphate in it, and then snapping the top in, okay, and then dropping that back down in. Your catalytic core, I've talked about this in various videos. This is good forever, but you'll never get it as clean as it came when it was new, but it doesn't alter the operation. Just clean it well with a brass wire brush under water and soak it in vinegar if you need to. And once you get this installed back in your filter, just drop this back in place. And that's all there is to it. We have these on our website already full, ready to go. Or we also have just the packets on our website of polyphosphate if you feel like servicing your own.